What if I told you that Sony's most iconic mascot was almost a Willy the Wombat? That a half-finished game was used to threaten Nintendo executives at trade shows? And that the developers literally strapped fake cardboard arcade cabinets outside Nintendo's hotel to mess with them? Welcome back to Byte Size Gaming. I'm Pete, and today we're cracking open the wild, chaotic, brilliant story of Crash Bandicoot on the original PlayStation.
What have I got?
Crash Bandicoot launched on September 9th, 1996 in North America, and it immediately became the face of the PlayStation. Developed by Naughty Dog, yes, the same studio that would go on to make The Last of Us, it was published by Sony Computer Entertainment. The game was a 3D platformer at a time when the genre was just figuring out what 3D even meant. You play as Crash, a genetically altered Bandicoot trying to rescue his girlfriend Torna from the evil Dr. Neo Cortex. But here's the thing, this game wasn't just about fun gameplay. It was an engineering flex. Naughty Dog co-founders Andy Gavin and Jason Rubin spent years mastering the PlayStation hardware at an almost absurd level.
What have I got?
Fact 1. The Willy the Wombat problem. The character was originally called Willy the Wombat. They cycled through names like Wes, Chester Cheetah and Grayman before settling on Crash Bandicoot, partly because the word crash felt punchy and action-oriented, and partly because bandicoots are just genuinely weird-looking animals that nobody had used before. Fact 2. The Sonic tactic. Naughty Dog printed hundreds of fake Crash Bandicoot arcade flyers and physically stood outside Nintendo's hotel during E3 1996, handing them to Nintendo employees. They called it Give Sonic a Wedgie. Sony loved it. Nintendo was less amused. Fact 3. No loading screens. The team wrote their own custom compression tools and streaming system from scratch. The PS1 was notorious for slow disk access, but Crash almost never pauses to load, something that was borderline miraculous for 1996. Fact 4. The camera was revolutionary. Rather than free-roaming camera like Mario 64, Crash used a fixed, behind-the-back perspective. This was a deliberate choice. It allowed the team to render far more detail per level. The so-called Crash camera became a design template copied by dozens of games. Fact 5. Almost cancelled twice. Sony Universal had a tense relationship with Naughty Dog throughout development. There were serious conversations about pulling the plug when early builds looked rough. A passionate internal pitch by Andy Gavin, complete with hand-drawn slides, saved the project both times. Crash Bandicoot sold over 6.8 million copies on PS1 and spawned one of gaming's most beloved franchises. The 2017 Insane Trilogy remake sold over 10 million copies, proof that the character's charm has never faded. Naughty Dog used the success to fund Jak and Daxter, and ultimately the studio DNA you see in their modern games traces directly back to the problem-solving culture born in those Crash Bandicoot dev rooms. So next time you spin through a crate and a giant boss comes chasing you, remember that somebody once stood outside a Nintendo hotel handing out fake flyers to make that moment possible. Drop a comment, which PS1 platformer meant the most to you. Subscribe for a new video every week, and I'll see you in the next one.